We open with a field of grass on which we see a sight of grace. It's glowing gold in the bright sunlight. It's here that Finnick approaches and touches it gently. The golden light floats through his fingers as the night lets the moment sink in. Melina stands beside him as she sees the man coming to terms with his origin. The fact he was once a soldier of Godfrey, now brought back to these lands after being banished so long ago. What about Godfrey himself? Has he come back as well? Melina states he hasn't, but it's said, according to legend, he will return eventually, once his time has come. When that will be exactly, no one knows. But what about Marika then? Is she still queen? Melina confirms she isn't. These lands hold a history darker than he can imagine. That he can be sure of. And those symbols he keeps on seeing in his dreams, those are the ones that hold power. Melina again confirms. Yes, those symbols are the power. The great runes, as they call it. Together they form the Elden Ring, the one true power of this entire world. Only the king or queen, the so-called Elden Lord, may carry and possess it. Finnick takes it all in. So, who is the Elden Lord now? Melina is silent, simply saying, no one is. At Varys' shack, Atlas wakes up and walks along the abandoned camp where all the other Tarnished used to be. He does wonder where Finnick is. Varys claims he hasn't seen him for several hours. He fears he ventured into the forest on his own, and that something might have happened. Atlas is quick to head into the woods and search for him. Finnick is pretty much all he has right now, he can't lose him too. So, he searches and searches through the woods, until he suddenly stumbles upon several bears. They're big ones, eating, sleeping. Atlas gulps as he slowly backs away, trying not to disturb them. It seems as if he just stumbled upon an entire nest of them. It's very quiet, until he accidentally steps on a twig, and the three bears spot him instantly. Atlas has only a couple of seconds to state the obvious. Shit. The young barbarian finds himself running through the forest. He has his axe but knows he can't do anything with it against them. They are right behind him, until Atlas himself crawls into a small hole in the ground. He crawls as deep as he can go and stays hidden. The three bears are right outside, sniffing, growling, slashing with their claws. They are looking for him clearly, but then stop and leave. Atlas gasps for air. That was a close one. Now he fully understands very why he keeps telling them not to venture too deep into the woods like that. The young man crawls out the hole and looks around. There is not a bear in sight, thankfully. Now let's get out of here. But then he turns around, only to see another bear, 3 times the size of the other ones. It's massive. It's staring right at him, teeth bared, growling angrily. A monster. Atlas stumbled right into its nest. Before anyone can blink, Atlas is running for his life as the monstrous creature is right behind him. The bear tears down trees, plants, even rocks. That's how strong it is. Atlas soon finds himself cornered and starts to slash with his axe in a desperate act of defense, but it doesn't help at all. The giant bear stands up on its 2 hind legs, roaring loudly. But that's when Atlas hears something else. A howl. A wolf's howl. In the blink of an eye, we see how a dark flash appears from a rock formation, jumps into the air, and stabs the giant bear in the neck. The bear turns around and now faces its new foe. Atlas takes his chance to grab his axe and attempts to fight, but gets smacked to the side by the bear's paws. The dark silhouette, however, takes out a large greatsword and has a whole fight with the monster. We focus mainly on Atlas as he crawls back up, slightly wounded, and stares at the fight behind him. After a few slashes, the figure manages to stab the bear in the chest, killing it. The massive creature collapses right behind Atlas, while the young barbarian has his mouth open. We now finally see who the rescuer is. It's a wolf, but also a man. A half-wolf, armed and armored, carrying a greatsword. He oozes intimidation as he stares at Atlas, but then vanishes as quickly as he appeared. Atlas is shocked as he looks at the dead Colossus, and then runs away. At Very, Finnick has arrived and tells him everything he has learned. He's 100% honest about everything. Very is pleased to see he has found his answers, however, it's revealed to us how he actually knew all of this. Finnick gets annoyed. Why stay silent? He knew how pained he and Atlas were during the last couple of days. Why not help them speak the truth? But Very, cryptic as he is, states that some answers must be found by the seeker himself. Only that way one's true potential can be decided. Finnick doesn't completely accept this. He appreciates how Very has taken them in, fed them, gave them shelter, but he can't fully trust someone if he has a secret agenda. Very makes it very clear he doesn't mean to harm them. He just has a part to play in this, they all do, and he can't deviate from it. The man truly does want to calm Finnick down and shows him he's no threat, but Finnick doesn't know what to think anymore at this point. Right now, he feels like Melina would give him more than Very would. The White Mask does again warn him to not trust anyone blindly, especially beautiful maidens in the forest, but Finnick, right now, knows she has been more honest to him than he has been. If he is truly a soldier of the once great Lord Godfrey, resurrected by the Earth Tree itself to restore order in these lands, then he must advance. Very does mock these words. Advance where? To Stormvale Castle? He may have grown in wisdom, but he's still the same man from when he first went there. Finnick knows this, and that's why he must get stronger. With those words, he leaves Very. He thanks him, showing some gratitude, but his place isn't there anymore. And without another word, Finnick leaves into the forest yet again. Somewhere else, Atlas is still trying to find his way back to Very's shack, only to see how he is completely lost. As he wanders around, he does come to appreciate the views and majestic animals that live there. As he progresses, hoping not to see any more of those giant bears, he suddenly bumps into someone unexpected. Roderica. She is revealed to have been wandering through Limgrave as well after her group was killed by Margit near Stormvale Castle. At first, Roderica is scared of him. She's scared of everything, it seems. She even runs away, but Atlas soon catches up to her, assuring her he's no threat. It takes a while, but soon she collapses in tears, shivering. Atlas is confused but does hold her. Roderica simply cries out how all her friends have been killed. She's all alone. She has nowhere else to go. Despite not knowing her, Atlas does show a gentle side as he comforts her. He tells her she is safe with him, even though he's still shivering himself from that bear, but he hides it. She asks if he's a great hero, like all the other ones who tried to attack Stormvale. Atlas looks a bit stupid now. Let's just say he can swing an axe? Roderica is fine with that. She can't fight to save herself. That night, they make a fire somewhere in a cave as Atlas comes back from hunting. He managed to get a rabbit. As he cooks it on the fire, Roderica does show some strange moves with her hands. And out of nowhere, a blue spiritual jellyfish appears, floating in the air around Roderica herself. Atlas gasps in wonder. How does she do that? Roderica chuckles. She's what you can call a spirit tuner. She can summon spirits. Normally they would be used in battle, but she just likes to have them as company. Atlas finds it pretty odd to choose to have that as company, but Roderica's answer is unexpectedly emotional. They're the only ones who haven't abandoned her. And as they talk, we get some explanation. It's revealed how spirits are summoned from people and animals who have perished, but their grace has been collected by a spirit tuner, so now they can live again. Atlas is confused, so they can control dead things. Roderica chuckles, claiming they can't really call it dead things, as death itself doesn't exist in these lands. That statement completely twists Atlas's mind. Death doesn't exist? What about all the monsters he has faced then? Roderica reveals how he has defeated them, sure, but their grace has simply been returned to the Erdtree, where it will be reformed and eventually reincarnated. Atlas is blown away by this realization. Where is death then? Was it ever even real here? Roderica reveals it was. Once. But it was stripped away. But when mentioning that it's all a long and bloody dramatic story, Atlas is even more interested. And Roderica truly does ask if he wants to hear it. I mean, usually everyone thinks she's a bore or a burden. Atlas smiles, gently, saying she's not a burden at all to him. In fact, she's probably the nicest person he's met so far. Not that it's saying much, since pretty much everything here has tried to kill him. That makes Roderica laugh. Genuinely. We can see it in her eyes. It's been a long time since she has felt happiness, even if for a little while. She smiles at Atlas, and he smiles back while he continues to cook the rabbit. So how about that story, huh? You promised me to tell that story. And Roderica smiles again, and tells the tale. We don't get to hear it, but we do see the two of them continuing their nice time together as the moon shines bright outside, peacefully. The howling of a wolf can be heard again. Finnick is walking through the woods as he hears it, getting spooked a bit, but staying strong nonetheless. He eventually makes a fire himself as he just can't find Atlas anywhere, hoping nothing has happened to him. That's when Melina appears again, alongside her horse. She comforts him, now that he's alone, yet he thinks it's good that he parted ways with Vere. It's so frustrating. There are reportedly hundreds, if not thousands like him, but he never once can find anyone. They all just run away or get killed. Melina understands. But as she listens to his frustrations, she mentions how there's a place for Tarnished to go to. A safe place that serves as a gathering. Usually you will find all your kind there and not just out here in the wild. Finnick is confused. Why only tell him that now? Is she also keeping secrets from him? Melina smiles, stating no maiden will ever tell her protector that without knowing for sure he is worthy of her guidance. And Finnick has shown such persistence and passion. If he wants, she can take him there and show him. Finnick, trusting Melina just enough, wants to, but feels like he should get Atlas too. He's the only companion he has right now, and he just can't abandon him. Melina asks if Atlas also has a maiden, which isn't the case. Well, then she can't take him with them. The gathering for Tarnished can only be allowed if you have a maiden, if you are served by one who can guide you with grace. Maidenless Tarnished are in no position to become stronger, thus not able to seek the Elden Ring or become Elden Lords. Finnick understands but still can't leave his companion. But then again, he is tired of spending endless nights out here in the wild when he knows he has brothers and sisters out there who he can join. And it ends with Finnick allowing Melina to take him to the gathering, if he is allowed to bring Atlas as well once he has found the maiden. Melina agrees, and just like that, Melina holds his hands, and with a bright flash, they are transported to the inside of a huge castle, it seems. He is in a hallway that leads to a big door at the back. Melina is right beside him as he tells him to knock on the door to announce his arrival. Finnick is pretty slow as he's taking it all in, yet again. But as he slowly approaches the large wooden door, he knocks on it. And it's opened by a soldier, completely dressed in black, silently observing Finnick. But Melina speaks for him. He's a new Tarnished, and she is his maiden. He has come to join his kind. And upon seeing the slight golden glow from Finnick's hands, the knight sees she speaks the truth, and allows him in. What follows is an almost magical scene, as Finnick enters a huge room with a large round table in the middle, occupied by dozens of other Tarnished. Knights, barbarians, wizards, brutes, assassins, all of them. They all talk with each other as they look at Finnick entering. The man himself smiles, feeling as if he's finally home, and Melina makes it official. Welcome to the Round Table Halls.